Taylor is a patient seeking treatment for his depression and believes his job is causing the problem. Taylor walks into the psychiatric treatment unit smelling of alcohol. The nurse walks into the patient's room to greet him and discuss his problems. Taylor is in the pre-contemplation stage of change and does not believe he has a drinking problem.
Hey Taylor, how are you doing today?
Not so good.
What brings you in today?
I've just been really stressed out lately because of my job. It takes so much out of me, and I find myself lacking energy and motivation just to do normal daily activities at home.
I understand how this can cause high levels of stress in your life. We can talk about ways to reduce those stress if you want. Can I ask you a couple questions to get started?
Sure.
Nurse begins to screen the patient.
Do you use tobacco products regularly?
No.
In the past year, have you had 5 or more drinks in a day?
Yeah.
In a typical week, do you have more than 14 drinks?
Yeah.
Okay. In the past year, have you used marijuana, street drugs, or prescription drugs for non-medicated use?
No.
In the past year, have you drank more than you meant to?
No.
Have you ever thought about cutting down on your alcohol use?
No, I don't really see why I would need to.
In the past year, have you ever been intoxicated on alcohol when you could possibly harm yourself or others?
Well, I don't think I would ever intentionally hurt someone else, but I guess there have been nights where I black out and I wake up not really remembering what exactly happened the night before.
Blacking out has some serious health consequences. It can be a danger to not only you yourself, but those around you as well. Is it okay if we talk about your alcohol use and how it may affect your health?
I don't know, I guess. I didn't really come here to talk about my drinking.
Nurse assesses the patient's level of risk after Taylor answers the questions and concludes Taylor is at moderate risk for alcohol use. This conclusion requires the nurse to conduct a brief intervention.
I realize you came here to talk about your stress and depression, but your alcohol use may be one of the factors contributing to your decreased levels of motivation and energy. Can you tell me a little bit more about your drinking?
Well, after a long, hard day at work, I really do like to come home and have a couple of beers, relax. Every once in a while, I might go out with my coworkers to a bar later at night, have maybe 6 or 7 more.
So, you're drinking about 7 or more beers a night, either at home or at a bar, and you're saying that drinking this amount helps you relax after a long, hard day at work?
Yeah, I like to come home and drink to take my mind off of work. Do you think I have a problem or that's bad or something?
Well, your alcohol use is above low-risk limits, and I am concerned about how this might affect your health. May I offer you some advice?
Yes.
I would like you to consider cutting back on your alcohol use.
Well, I don't really see why I need to. I don't think I have a problem. I'm here to talk about the depression and stress I've been experiencing because of my work.
Having a full-time job and trying to take care of yourself and a family can be very stressful. It's admirable that you take on those kinds of responsibilities. However, using alcohol to cope with daily issues may also be contributing to these stress levels and anxiety.
My job is the problem.
I know this might be difficult to talk about. What things do you enjoy about drinking?
Well, when I get home, drinking and getting to hang out with coworkers takes my mind off of my job. It really stresses me out.
So you think a positive aspect of drinking is that it takes your mind off the stress you're experiencing at work and it helps you relax. What do you think are some negative aspects about drinking?
Well, I don't know. I guess after I've been drinking, I find myself right back where I started. I'm upset and I don't really have a lot of energy or motivation to go back to work the next day.
Okay. So what you're saying is that your drinking doesn't resolve your problems and stress, and it is only a temporary fix?
Yeah. A lot of times I'll wake up groggy in the morning, making it really hard to go back to work and do my job. And I know I could do a better job at my work if I didn't stay out drinking every night. And I guess knowing that I'm not performing my best at my job does actually cause me more stress in the long run.
So I want to make sure I have this right. On the nights you go out with your friends, you have about 6 or 7 beers to alleviate your stress, but then by the end of the night you find that drinking is only a distraction. And then the next morning at work, you're again feeling overwhelmed by your job, and that drinking the night before didn't really resolve any issues. And you want to do a better job at work, but drinking up and waking groggy the next morning prevents you from doing this.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, can you think of any other aspects about your drinking habits that also contribute to your stress?
Well, drinking does actually cost a lot of money. I've never really thought about it, but especially when I go out to the bar with my friends, each beer costs around $4, and that can really add up after a couple of drinks. This money really could be used for more important things like paying bills.
Yeah. It's great that you're able to recognize like the financial stresses added associated with your frequent heavy drinking, and adding financial stress to a family can be very difficult.
Yeah, I never really thought about how much money I'm actually spending on alcohol.
Cutting back on the number of drinks you have per night might help. It could save you a lot of money in the long run. The money you save could alleviate some of your financial burdens and ease your stress.
I guess so.
After discussing Taylor's behavior, the nurse pulls out her readiness ruler to understand Taylor's readiness to change.
So after discussing the pros and cons of your drinking habits, on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being not ready at all and 10 being ready to change today, how ready would you be to change your lifestyle habits with drinking?
I'm pretty caught off guard. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4.
Taylor is in the contemplation stage of change, meaning he is considering changing within the next 6 months and is becoming aware of the pros and cons of change, which is correlating with his spot on the readiness ruler.
Why did you not choose a 1 or 2?
Well, after talking with you for a little bit about it, I kind of realized that maybe cutting back might increase my motivation and my energy, and I would be open to putting more thought into this.
That's so great that you're willing to make some lifestyle changes. What are some positive aspects of changing your behavior?
Well, I would wake up feeling better for work, and I wouldn't be spending nearly as much money on alcohol at bars. I could really use that money to help pay for other activities that I enjoy doing.
By changing your behavior, you would really begin to spend less money on alcohol and feel a lot better at work. You wouldn't wake up groggy. I think these 2 changes could really help decrease your stress levels. What are some ways you can start making these changes?
Well, I guess I could start by cutting back by only having 3 or 4 drinks a night, and then I could also cut back on the nights I go out each week.
The nurse begins to write down the goals Taylor discusses.
Cutting back 3 or 4 a night sounds like a great goal and very attainable. Just to be clear, while I'm writing these things down, you would also like to start cutting back on nights where you go out. Would you be comfortable starting to make these changes within the next month again before we meet?
Yeah, I guess I could try to work on that before our next appointment.
Okay. That sounds great. Now let's talk about your stress levels. Do you know anything that you could do to alleviate some of your stress?
Well, I used to really enjoy going for runs around the neighborhood, but I stopped doing that over the past year because I just really didn't feel up to it anymore.
Running is a great way to alleviate stress. Would you like to start running around the neighborhood to take a break from stress every once in a while?
Yeah, this hasn't really been something I thought about for a while, but I would like to start walking again, and eventually I'd like to start running again too. Within the next month, I would like to start going for walks 2 or 3 times a week in my neighborhood during the afternoons.
Taylor is now past the contemplation stage and ready to transition to the preparation stage. In this stage, Taylor is ready to start making changes, beginning to develop a plan of action, and ready for assistance in changing. This stage of change is realistic for where Taylor is at.
That sounds like a great idea. There are a lot of great benefits that come with adding physical activity in your life. Are there any other ways that you could add your positivity to your day?
Yeah, running used to clear my mind and really helped me feel more energized and positive about my life. And I think by starting to walk again, I will feel better about my life and myself again.
Yes, that sounds great. It takes a lot of courage and determination to get old hobbies started back up again. Are there other things that you could do to keep these positive thoughts prevalent throughout your entire day?
Well, my mom used to write down 3 things that she was thankful for every day, and I could totally take that idea and write down 3 positive things about my day every night. If I'm stressed at work or having a bad day, I can look back on those to help motivate me to keep going.
Taylor, I think all of these goals are wonderful, and you can really start to work on these and cut back on some of the stress in your life before our next appointment next month. I wrote these down for you so you won't forget them, and then you can remember what we talked about. I think you're very capable of reaching all of these goals, and I'm happy you decided to stay a little bit more and talk to me about this.
The nurse hands Taylor his 3 new goals, updates his patient profile, and schedules Taylor's next appointment.